These ideas may have some impact on our green credentials, but to really make a difference, we probably need to be thinking about changing our transport.
Yeah, in the UK, a quarter of our emissions come from the transport industry alone. Delivery vans in particular can do hundreds of journeys every day. Well, Dan Simmons has been to see one British motor company that you've probably never heard of, but which is both making vans greener and making vans greener.
Vans need to be cost-effective, reliably always on the road and able to carry a lot of weight, so it's perhaps no surprise that the vast majority are still diesel or petrol powered. Now, a British company hasn't just ripped out the engine and added some batteries, it's redesigned the van from scratch with some surprising results.
Say hello to an all-new electric option, which I think looks a bit like it's from the future. And that's because, well, it is. There are currently none of these vans driving on the roads, but the company who makes it plans to take over the world. And the name of this new arrival?
Don't worry, I'd not heard much about them either. It's all been a bit hush-hush.
We have 3 vehicles which are currently in development. We have the Arrival bus, the Arrival van and the Arrival car. We've been working on this for about 5 years now, and we are really excited to be bringing these vehicles into production within the next few months.
I've come to the company's huge R&D centre in Banbury in Oxfordshire. It's so new you'd probably be able to smell the paint, if they'd used any. One of the first things they changed was the panels the van's made out of. Steel isn't in sight, the frame is lighter aluminium to save weight, and the design team created these moulded thermoplastic composite panels wrapped around fiberglass cloth that not only save weight but turn out to be pretty tough too.
Standard metal van. Oh, you've got a dent in there, you're going to have to take that in. Bit of body work needed. This is the thermoplastic composite. Hardly a scratch. No? I think you're good to go.
It's not painted, so it's not like you have a scratch and even the shine is gone and you've got to kind of smooth it out, sand it out, fill it, you know, whatever the process is, spray paint it. It's just solid all the way through.
The panels are cut to shape from the material that's much easier to recycle than steel.
That process has some offcuts, and those offcuts could be wasted, but we're not wasting any of them. We're going to grind them down and allow them to be reused in other products in the vehicle or in other industries. They're worth something and they're valuable.
Because the vehicles are made in a modular way, they can carry as many batteries as they need for their expected journeys, avoiding any extra weight. Touch-free door openings lead us inside. The cabin feels spacious and minimalist, with a multi-purpose panel feeding back information from cameras, sensors, and what's left to deliver on board.
So we've achieved more volume by getting the floor much closer down to the ground, the chassis height's much lower. So effectively we have 20% more cargo volume on the same length of a vehicle compared to a diesel vehicle or any other electric vehicle.
To further minimise maintenance times, parts of the car needed to be checked and refilled frequently are all under an easily accessible flap. It's part of a keep it simple and keep it on the road ethos.
We're designing these vehicles right from the outset with servicing in mind. How can we ensure that components can be accessed, they can be either repaired or replaced very easily without disrupting or dismantling the vehicle itself?
Arrival may have not sold a working model yet, but for a British motor company, they're doing rather well. The first big order is in. UPS wants 10,000.
That's more vehicles than British car makers Aston Martin, Lotus and Morgan make in a year together. And that's before one has hit the road. If you want one, well, you're going to have to wait about 2 years.
They've already started making buses that are lighter and easier to clean, which should be on the roads later this year, and signed a deal with ride-hailing firm Uber to build cars for their drivers from 2023. One of the biggest changes Arrival brings is the way these vehicles are made. Just up the road in Bicester, the company's latest micro-factory is taking shape inside an empty warehouse. Rather than a single fixed production line with heavy plant machinery, modular cells will each do a specific but reprogrammable job. Cutting, moulding, assembling, before those parts are shuttled around to whichever is the next phase for that design.
Now, to get things from one cell to another, they're going to use these Wemos. This one's called 007, funnily enough, and it'll take parts between those various cells to provide them with the components they need to build the vehicle.
It's the opposite approach of how car companies like Tesla are doing it, with huge gigafactories that provide all the cars for a continent. Microfactories can be placed anywhere there's demand, creating local jobs, allowing fine-tuning of models for each market, and skipping the importing, shipping, or long delivery drives.
We can put a microfactory up in about 6 months. We can take kind of existing buildings, big sheds that you see along the motorway, but 6 months is really absolutely unheard of, I think, in OEM manufacturing.
And the company is also looking ahead to an automated future, already trialling and testing a fully automated van depot without drivers at all. The UK government has funded the project, which it hopes will one day become a big UK tech export.
We are right now on the cusp of going into the production of 2 vehicles within the next 12 months. So, the big turning point will be people seeing these vehicles for real, delivering their goods, passengers getting on and off buses within cities. So, that's the future that we're looking forward to.
People are going to know your name.
Yes.